Hi students, so this is chapter 5 on customer value driven marketing strategy, which is on creating value for target customers. So although this is chapter 7 on your textbook, but for our syllabus it is in chapter 5. This is what we're going to learn, which is first one to define major steps in designing customer-driven marketing strategy. So basically, I'm going to explain to you later on what is actually market segmentation, targeting, differentiation, and also positioning. Secondly, we're going to discuss on the major basis of segmenting consumer and also business markets. The third one will be on explaining on how companies will identify attractive market segments and choose a market targeting strategy. Lastly, to discuss on companies differentiated, okay, and also positioning their strategy on the product so that they can earn the maximum competitive advantage. So let's look at the first learning objective, which is on market segmentation, targeting, differentiation, and positioning. Basically, here you're going to learn on all the definition of these terms. Yeah. So in order to create a customer-driven marketing strategy, we have to create a value for them. Okay, so we have the targeted customer, which as you already learned, targeted customers are people that most likely will buy our product. So how we do this is by selecting the customer that we're going to serve and also to decide on the value proposition that the customer would like to have. So by looking at the first part here, which is to select customer that we serve, we can do by segmenting them. Okay, when we have this segmentation terms is dividing the total market into smaller segment. So segment here means into smaller groups, yeah. And targeting is when we select the segment or segments that we wanted to enter. Okay. When designing on the value proposition, we can do what they call this differentiation strategy, yeah, which is to differentiate the market offering so that we can create a superior customer value. And we also can do positioning, right, whereby the position, okay, where market offering in the mind of the target customers. So positioning here is not the position in other location, but position in the minds of the target market. So please remember, when you do positioning, it is about how we put the products, okay, into the market or target market's minds. When we do the differentiation, we are trying to create something that is different, which is of course a superior customer value products. Okay, and when you talk about segmentation, it is about subgrouping, okay, or putting the market into smaller groups, and targeting is by looking at or aiming or targeting, okay, who are these people that to be inside this particular subgroup of market. Okay, the second learning objective, to listen and also discuss major bases of segmenting consumer and also business markets. Now, market segmentation requires dividing a market into smaller segments, okay, like I mentioned just now, smaller groups, okay, with some distinct needs, characteristics, or behavior that might require separate marketing strategies or the marketing mix. So when we do market segmentation, basically we are putting people together, right, where we have this group of people which they have similar needs, characteristics, and behavior within the same group. Okay, and it is different from another group, which is that particular another group might have another needs, another characteristics, and also behavior. That two of this particular group, or there are many groups, okay, will need a separate marketing strategies or mixes. So in market segmentation, we can segment the consumer markets. We can also segment business market, segmenting international markets, and all of these will require an effective segmentation. So how we can do the segmentation is basically by using geographic segmentation, demographic, psychographic, and also behavioral segmentation. Now we do geographic segmentation from the word geography, yeah, right? This is when you wanted to divide the markets into different geographical units, such as by their nation, their region, states, countries, not counties, yeah, countries, cities, or even neighborhoods. While when we do demographic segmentation, it is when we divide the market based on their demographic variables. Okay, like you already learned what is demographic variable, such as the age, life cycle stage, gender, income, and so on. When you talk about age or also the life cycle stage of segmentation, this is when you are actually dividing the market based on their age or their life cycle groups. So age is just like how old that particular person is, and mostly marketers don't really go into age itself because perhaps a 7-year-old kid and also 8-year-old kid still have similar needs. So instead, by looking at individual age, many companies uses the life cycle stage, such as babies or toddlers, kids, teenagers, young adults, elderly, and so on. Right? So these life cycle groups are much more easier to look at because each are different from one another. So if you are a baby, your marketing mix will be different than if you are a teenager. Okay, in gender, of course, it is based on gender, whether you are a man or woman, because obviously men will require different marketing mix compared to women. Okay, and income segmentation is based on their income that they earn. So this is always related to the economic condition of that one particular customer or that group of customers. So you have a high income people. Remember the T20 in Malaysia, we have the top 20 income earners. Okay, we have M40, the middle 40 people, and B40, the bottom 40 people. In terms of this income, they might require different marketing mix. The third one is by using the psychographic segmentation. So psychographic is when you are dividing a market based on their social class, lifestyle, or personality characteristics. So different people from different social class or different lifestyle and also personality will require different marketing mix, in a way that each and every of these, okay, will actually have, what we can do is to subgroup them together, and they will actually require or also wanted to buy things that are different from another lifestyle or another social class or another personality. Lastly, the behavioral segmentation. This behavioral segmentation is when we divide from the word behavioral, yeah, based on the knowledge, yeah, the consumer's knowledge, their attitudes, uses of a product, or responses to a product. Let's first look at the behavioral segmentation. The behavioral segmentation can be divided in terms of by occasion, the benefit sought, user status, usage rate, and also loyalty status. Based on occasion is where the consumer will buy things due to different occasion. All right, for example, you have birthday cakes for birthday, or you have Christmas cake for Christmas, or you have Valentine's Day cake during Valentine's Day. All right, so these particular markets, okay, are targeted in a way that if that particular customer would like to buy based because of their birthday, so the decoration of the cake perhaps towards having some birthday elements. All right, and same goes if, let's say, is for the Valentine's Day cake, so that cake will normally be in heart shape, red color or pink color, something like that. The benefits sought will be in terms of what the benefits that customer would like to get when they purchase a product. Now, people buy things for different reasons, okay, and for each and every different reason, okay, are how these particular marketers can group these people. For example, an athlete, okay, an athlete, or let's say Usain Bolt. You know Usain Bolt, right? He's a marathon runner. So when he wanted to buy a running shoes, okay, the benefit that he would like to have in that particular running shoes is that to make him run faster, okay, for performance, right? But if let's say you yourself and you're not an athlete and you're not a marathoner, and when you want to buy a running shoes, what you will actually look for is that that particular shoes will just make you run comfortably, isn't it? Okay, so the benefit that you will look for is just for comfortability, while an athlete may look at the benefit of the shoes that he wanted to buy that can actually improve or boost his performance. Next is the user status. We're talking about the user status. Here there are three user status that we can actually subgroup, which is first one is the current user, potential user, or even an ex-user. Ex-user meaning to say you used to use that particular product and now no longer using it. Okay, so the marketers might actually have that particular different marketing mix for these different types of user. For example, if you are been using Cellcom for very long time, okay, so you are actually a current user of Cellcom. Perhaps before you use Cellcom, you use DG. Okay, so meaning to say you are the ex-user of DG, current user of Cellcom, and you might be a potential user for Maxis. Okay, so Cellcom, when Cellcom wanted to make sure that you get the customer value, right? So Cellcom might reward you with a lot of benefits, okay, by using Cellcom. And then DG, for example, with DG is targeting for you, which is the ex-user. So DG might have some kind of promotion that will actually encourage you to switch back to DG, okay, by giving perhaps some rebates, perhaps more discounts or some other packages just for the ex-users of DG, okay, or Cellcom, sorry, not Cellcom, now Maxis. You are the potential buyer for Maxis, right? So Maxis might have some promotion in the way that wanted to attract for new customers. Okay, so only for new customers you will be able to enjoy some benefits that Maxis will be giving. So that is how the user status shows in terms of this segmentation. Yeah, next is the usage rate. Usage rate can be seen in terms of whether are you a light user, okay, or a medium user or hardcore user, right? Meaning to say if you use that particular product lightly, meaning you only use it once a month or once in a blue moon, okay, you are a light user. If you use it very frequently, okay, meaning to say you are a heavy user. So the more you use, the more perhaps reward you will get, the more benefits that you'll be getting given by that particular company to you. Okay, and lastly, there's loyalty status, meaning to say are you a completely loyal person towards certain brand, or not necessarily just a brand, could be also certain stores or shop. Yeah, you always buy from Shell, for example. When you buy when you want to refill your vehicle, okay, your car, do you go only to Shell or you only go to Petronas? So if you are a loyal user, a completely loyal, meaning to say you will always go to the same shop or you always buy the same product. For example, if you want to eat instant noodle, you always buy Maggi. So you are the loyal consumer of this Maggi. But if you are sometimes buying different brand, okay, so you or you might have like 2 or 3 preferred brands, okay, so you are considered as somewhat loyal. Okay, but if every time when you buy things you keep on changing the brands, so those are actually considered as no loyalty at all. Next, when you talk about segmenting consumer market using multiple segmentation, yeah, so this is used to identify smaller, better defined target groups. All right, for example, this Experience Mosaic USA system classifies US household into one of 71 lifestyle segment and 19 level of affluence. So this is when you actually make use of this multiple segmentation, which later on will be able to have a better defined target groups. Okay, moving on to the next one, which is segmenting business markets. Yeah, this is when we are segmenting towards businesses. Okay, so again, they can use the same as the consumer segment variables with additional, which includes customer operating characteristics, such as is that particular business is dealing with different industry for different types of customers. Okay, is it in retail, is it in hospitality, is it in manufacturing? Okay, next is purchasing approaches, which includes how do they make their payment methods, and also the frequency. Is do they buy it every month, every year, or biannually, okay, or quarterly, as well as the quantity that they buy. For example, if you are a franchise system, perhaps the franchisees will be having a centralized purchasing approach by the headquarters of that particular franchise, and it will be bought by the whole franchisees. Okay, unlike if you are just operating a single restaurant owner, okay, the type of purchasing approaches will be just for your own shop or your own restaurant. Okay, next is situational factors, which includes all the micro and also macro environment factors, and lastly the personal characteristics, which are basically depending on the top management or the personal preferences of the owners of the business. Next one is segmenting international markets. Okay, there are four bases of segmenting international markets, which include geographic, economic, political, and legal factors, as well as the cultural factors. Inter-market segmentation means you are forming a segment of consumer who have similar needs and also buying behavior, although they are located in different countries. Okay, there is inter-market segmentation. So that means there are similar demand for the product, but they are located differently at different country. Oh, now when you want to do the effective segmentation, you have to make sure that the segment that you do must be measurable in the way that you can identify how big or how small is the population of your segment. Accessibility, that means you can access to the market, and also the market also can access to your marketing mix. Substantial in the way that of course it must be profitable. Okay, differentiable in a way that that particular market are different or segment are different from another segment. Okay, you can differentiate them like kids and also adults, so you can actually tell and identify them by the look of them. You can tell, right, if that is an adult person or a kid. Okay, that is differentiable and actionable in the way that each segment should be responding differently, okay, giving an action differently towards each and every segment that you offer. Okay, so for example, if you are segmenting to coffee lovers, coffee for coffee lovers, so that means coffee lovers should actually react positively towards your coffee. Okay, while non-coffee drinkers should also react negatively towards the coffee that you are selling because they are not a coffee drinker. Okay, that is in terms of the action. Next, the third learning objective, which is explaining on how companies will identify the attractive market segment and choose the market targeting strategy. Now, before we do that particular targeting, you have to evaluate first your market segment. So, of course, this is related to the effectiveness just now of your market segment in terms of its size and also the potential growth. Yeah, you don't want to have a big segment, however, they're not growing. Okay, so it may not be worthwhile for you to create a marketing mix for this particular size. Okay, next segment structural attractiveness in the way that attractive here not only just their size are big and they are also growing, but you may want to look in terms of the trend whereby people are using it more frequently. Okay, the customers are typically very loyal to the brands. Okay, then you can see that attractiveness of the segment. And of course, it must be based on your company objective and also the resources that you have. So as you know, target market is a set of buyers who will share these common needs or characteristics that the company decides to serve. So you have your marketing mix and you wanted to serve this target market. You can do 4 types of market targeting strategies. Yeah, number 1, undifferentiated, differentiated, concentrated or micro marketing. Okay, sometimes the company are evolving. Yeah, perhaps they first started with undifferentiated, then they move on to differentiated segmented market, or later on they also wanted to concentrate on certain market and later do micro marketing. But there are also company that um, right away choose the market targeting strategies. Yeah, perhaps they just want to stick with this undifferentiated, they can do that. Okay, or they start the business and they right away concentrate the marketing by using the niche. Okay, let's look at what is the undifferentiated marketing. So this is when you target the whole market with one offer. Okay, it is also known as mass marketing, which you are focusing on common needs rather than what is different between each and every segment. Okay, for example, when you are Clorox company, for example, you produce Clorox. So Clorox can be used for many purposes. Yeah, you want to clean your clothes, white clothes, for example, or you want to clean the toilets, or you can also use Clorox to clean your kitchen. All right. So although there are different purposes, yeah, different usages of this particular Clorox, the bleach, but Clorox does not look at different usages that people wanted to use. But what they do is that they just produce Clorox. So it's up to the market itself. They wanted to use it for kitchen or for clothing or for bathroom and so on. Okay, so that is mass marketing. You only have one product that will be used for many purposes. Okay. Next is differentiated marketing, which you target several different market segments and design separate offer for each, with your goal normally to achieve higher sales and stronger position. So that's when you can see that Clorox nowadays, okay, Clorox now in the supermarket, you can see they have Clorox that you can use for kitchen. Okay, there are also Clorox products for bleaching your clothes, and there are also Clorox that is used for the bathroom. Okay, so that is when Clorox starts to produce different products for different usages, okay, for target segment that are different, right? Another example is the detergent. So that's when you can see the detergent. This is for antibacterial. This detergent is for color protection or color guard. And then there's another detergent is for anti-wrinkles and so on. Okay, so this is when you produce different type of product. So by producing more products, okay, it is more expensive because you have to create one mix for each segment. Okay. Moving on to concentrated marketing, which you are targeting a large of a smaller market. This is when you concentrate. That means you make use of your limited company resources by focusing on the market that you are targeting. Typically, you only have one market and you offer one product for them. This is more effective and efficient because you will have a very wide knowledge, again, vast knowledge of the market, and you know what they wanted to have. Micro marketing is a practice of tailoring product and marketing programs to suit the taste of specific individuals and location. So micro marketing is much more narrower or much more smaller and concentrated than the concentrated marketing just now. So micro, from the word micro, which is small, yeah, it can be done in two ways, which is local marketing or individual marketing. If you are using local marketing, it can involve tailoring the brands and also promotion to the needs and wants of the local customer segment. You can look at by their cities, the neighborhood, or even the stores, or even the country itself. For example, McDonald's, yeah, McDonald's in India has a different marketing mix than any other countries because, as you know, culturally, yeah, Indians are their main religions in India is Hindu, and you know Hindu, they don't eat beef because they believe that their goddess, okay, one of their goddess are the cow, okay, so beef are from the cow. So McDonald's, when they enter India, they need to customize, okay, they need to go into the local marketing, which tailoring their products, okay, their mixes to the local customer segment in India. So you will not see a double cheeseburger or quarter pounder with cheese or Big Mac in India, but rather you will see a lot more vegetables burgers in India, the veggie Mac veggie, okay, and also the fish vegetable block fish burgers, okay, and also some chicken burgers. This is to suit, okay, the local customer segment in that particular country. Another example is KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. When they come to Malaysia, they offer hot and spicy chicken because typically Malaysian they like spicy food. Okay, so only in Malaysia we have this hot and spicy chicken. In the United States, you don't order, I want KFC hot and spicy. Then they will ask you, what is hot and spicy? What they only have is just original recipe chicken. Okay, so KFC is doing this local marketing for Malaysian market because they believe that by offering hot and spicy, more people would like to eat the spicy taste of the chicken. Okay. While the individual marketing just now, it involved tailoring product and marketing program to the needs and preferences of individual. It is also known as one-to-one marketing or mass customization. This is just like your tailor. When you go to tailor to make your baju, okay, your clothes, then the tailor will actually measure your body and will create or make the shirt or the baju kurung or whatever baju that you ordered from that particular tailor just to your size. Okay, so this is when you do individual marketing. Another example is when you go to Tea Life, okay, or if not Tea Life, you go to what is another one, Cha Time, for example. Okay, they have many types of drinks, and you can also choose the level of ice, level of sugar. If you want very sweet, then you can ask for extra sweet. You don't want if you don't like something that is very cold, then you can ask for less ice, and then you can choose different type of tea. If you like oolong tea, black tea, green tea, or Earl Grey tea, what else? Tea that you have. Okay, so from that you can say that you want with the milk or you want with honey, or you can add on some toppings like the pearls, the nata de coco, the jelly, the chia seed, and whatsoever. Those are actually made just for you because you order according to what you like to have, right? So that is one-to-one marketing, right? Okay, moving on in market targeting, selecting the target market segment. So choosing a targeting strategy will depend on the company resources. Okay, if you have many resources, perhaps you can do differentiated marketing. So different products for different type of people. Okay, product variability, how many varieties that you can offer to the customers. Okay, your product life cycle stage, the product life cycles. Later on, we will learn also after chapter in chapter 7. Okay, basically whether that particular product is in the initial stage, okay, just launch it, or is it in the growing stage, maturity stage, or in the decline stage, right? Next is market variability, how variable, not how variable, how vast and also how different are your markets, and also will depending on your competitors' marketing strategy because you don't want to be left behind by your competitors. Moving on to the last part of this chapter, which is to discuss on how companies differentiate and position their products for maximum competitive advantage. First, we look at product position. Remember when I told you just now in the first few slides, product position is when you see how customer define your product attributes in their mind. This can be seen using the positional map, okay, where it shows the consumer's perception of marketer's brand versus competing brands, okay, on some important buying decisions. For example, look at this figure 7.7, positioning map for large luxury SUV. Is a car, yeah, SUV cars. The important dimension could be perhaps how luxury it is in terms of how expensive it is and its performance. So if your product or your brand falls near to this particular area, that means your product are expensive, yeah, very luxurious, and good performance, higher performance. Okay, but if you are somewhat below here, that means less performance, but then also less luxury. Okay, this is just how you see your customer perceive your brand. If let's say you are this brand, for example, then you can tell that customers see your product as only luxurious, but in terms of performance, it's not that good. Okay, but if your product is this green circle, meaning to say customer sees your product as a good performance or high performance with high luxury, which is expensive. So in choosing a differentiation and also positioning strategy, you first must identify a set of possible competitive advantages to build a position. And then you choose the right competitive advantages, select an overall positioning strategy, and communicate and delivering the chosen position to the market. This is the steps how you choose a differentiation and positioning strategy. Yeah. Okay, for the first step, you need to know the competitive advantage. Okay, so the competitive advantage is actually an advantage over competitors. Sorry. Okay, so it is gained by normally offering consumer a greater value, either through lower prices or by providing more benefits than justify the higher price. That means it can be either you offer a very cheap price, okay, then your competitors cannot go to that particular cheap level, or you simply just put a very high price, but then you know that the quality of the product that you give to the customer is at its best. The competitive advantage can be done alongside of the product itself in terms of the quality of it, the services, typically how good is the service, how prompt is the service, how fast is the service, yeah, the channels, how many channels do you use, and then the people that you are using, typically related to the expertise, yeah, of that person, and also the image of the product that you are selling. Okay. And if you want to choose that particular competitive advantage, you must make sure that the element of the competitive advantage are important to the customers. It is totally distinctive, in a way different, unique. Okay, it has a superior value, be it a very very cheap or very very good quality. Okay, and must be better. Superior means better, of course, better than your competitors' products. It must be communicable. Okay, it must be visible to the consumers or your market, and then it has to have to be preemptive so that your competitors will not be easily copy your element. Okay, if you're doing bubble tea, for example, you have to make sure that what makes your bubble tea so different, that if your competitors wanted to follow and do the same bubble tea, it won't be as good as yours. Okay, so it has to be difficult for your competitors to follow or to copy your strategy. Next, it has to be affordable to you to do that. Okay, not affordable in a way that it is cheap for the customer, but affordable in a way you can afford to do it. Okay, of course, it has to be profitable. Next, you must look at the value proposition, yeah, which the full mix of benefits upon which a brand is being positioned. So by choosing the positioning or the differentiation strategy that you use just now, it must have the value proposition that core benefits, okay, must be different. By looking at this particular figure 7.4, possible value proposition could include in terms of the benefits and also price, yeah, as all compared to your competitors. The best one here, which is it has more benefits and the price is more, because you want to get the quality of the you want to produce a very high quality product, and also you want the price to be high so that you can earn more profits. Okay, well, this one is much more less, or it's not really a good value proposition, because the benefits are less. Basically, they are similar to your competitors' product, okay, and the price is also not that much, so you won't actually be getting a lot of profit here. So the best value proposition quadrant will be here, with more benefits and more expensive prices. Next one, in choosing a differentiation and position strategy, you must create a positioning statement which summarizes the company or brand positioning using the form of two what, okay, of our brand is what concept and that the point of the difference it is. Okay, so the statement should say that you wanted to target to whom is it? Okay, the market segment, to the children, for example. So for our brand, let's say Toys R Us, okay, is what concept you want to say? A variety of like variety of toys. Okay, the concept where you can get all the toys in one place. Okay, that what is different from your competitors? Perhaps the safety of the toys that you choose to be sold in your shop, okay, or the materials that are used, okay, or the selection of materials used in that particular production of the toys are of high quality. So you must come up with a particular statement that actually tells how you want the brand to be positioned. Okay, and example here is for an Evernote. Yeah, their position statement is to busy multitaskers. Okay, so they are targeting to people who always busy because of their tasks. There are many tasks that they need to do, who need help for in remembering things. Okay, so this Evernote, now the concept is that it's a digital content management application, okay, that makes it easy to capture and remember moments and ideas from your everyday life using your computer, phone, tablet, and the web. That means this is something that is different from perhaps other competitors, okay, which you can actually link on and also synchronize whatever that you need to remember on your computer, your phone, your tablet, and also on the web itself. Okay. And lastly, of course, once you already have that positioning in your strategy that you want to choose, okay, you have to communicate it and deliver it to the segment that you have chosen. So choosing the position is typically easier than implementing the position. Okay, so establishing a position or changing one usually takes a very long time. So it's not in a day or in a month effort or even not a year. Okay, typically it will take more than 5 years to 10 years, right? And maintaining the position requires consistent performance and communication. Right, so with that we finish our chapter 5. Thank you guys, I hope you all understand, and if you don't really understand things, then we can do the discussion over our WhatsApp class. Yeah, bye.